Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. And today's show is all about harnessing what we already have to take ourselves to the next level. But before we dive into our lineup, our newsroom is ready with the latest updates. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the news.
Hello, Maxine. Big news for the teacher them.
I wanna know.
Jamaica will host the first ever CXC Regional Education Conference this October.
A lie.
It's true. And it is from October 28 to 30 at the Ocean Coral Spring Hotel in Trelawney. Teachers will join international specialists to sharpen their skills, explore new technologies, and strengthen mathematics education.
We will be putting our teachers in that interface. Our minister has given us the approval through cabinet. We are investing $21 million in bringing out our math teachers to have that interface in October with CXC and the specialists that they will bring here right in Jamaica.
It's a time to connect, learn, and lead the future of teaching in the digital age.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, September 19, 2025. The 63 newly elected members of Parliament and 21 appointed senators took their seats in the Houses of Parliament yesterday as legislators were sworn in for the new term. The day's proceedings began with the swearing in of the senators, 13 on the government side and 8 appointed by the opposition. Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith reprises her role as leader of government business in the Senate. King's Counsel Tom Tavares Finson returns as president of the Senate, with Senator Charles Sinclair appointed as his deputy.
I take the opportunity to welcome the new members of the Senate, indicate that in short order we'll be keeping a orientation session to go through the standing orders and the rules of the Senate.
The lower house then met, where 35 Jamaica Labour Party MPs took the oath, while 28 did so from the People's National Party, led by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness and Leader of the Opposition, Mark Golding. Minister Floyd Green was named Leader of Government Business in the House. Member of Parliament for St. Andrew East Rural, Juliet Holness, was once again named Speaker of the House, with MP for St. James Central, Heroy Clark, appointed the Deputy Speaker. In her first address following the appointment, the House Speaker remarked that meaningful progress was achieved in her previous stint in the position, and even greater reforms would be pursued in this term.
It is my duty as Speaker not only to identify opportunities for greater efficiency, but also to guide and remind all of us of the requirements of the standing orders in the spirit of balance, fairness, and good order. The Speaker does not make the rules, but humbly and, if necessarily, firmly ensures that they are followed by all members without fear or favor.
Of particular note, she says the partnership within the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association will be continued for the comprehensive review of the standing orders.
To plug any gaps identified, modernize procedures, and give clearer guidance on complex processes. This redraft will soon be placed before the Standing Orders Committee for vetting and deliberation before it is tabled in the House.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has committed that his government will be advancing the process to formally institute job descriptions for parliamentarians in this new term. Dr. Holness was addressing yesterday's opening of Parliament.
This reform will make clear what the public rightly expects its elected representatives to do: regular attendance and active participation in sittings and committees, diligent oversight of ministries and agencies, transparent and ethical use of public resources, and continuous visible engagement with constituents.
He says the process will also create a framework to measure performance, improve accountability, and strengthen public trust in institutions.
This is not about restricting members. It is about elevating the standards of service. It is about ensuring that every seat in this House is not just occupied, but actively contributing to Jamaica's progress and prosperity.
Government will be crafting a new medium-term economic plan in this new term in office. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made the declaration in his statement to Parliament on Thursday, explaining that the plan would be designed not just to preserve discipline, but to unlock opportunities and improve the lives of Jamaicans.
This plan will focus on boosting long-term growth and productivity, deepening financial inclusion and resilience, and strengthening social protection for vulnerable households. It will seek the right balance, fiscal responsibility, alongside catalytic investments in infrastructure, human capital, and innovation.
He says the government will continue to build on the gains that have been made to achieve economic growth.
Just over a decade ago, we set out to restore economic stability and put our country on a sustainable path. Today, we can say with confidence that we have achieved what we set out to do. Our debt to GDP ratio is now approaching 60%, 2 years ahead of schedule. Inflation is stable, reserves are strong, and our fiscal accounts are among the most disciplined in the world. With stability secured, the next step is growth, so that the people can truly get the improvement in the quality of life that they deserve.
Cabinet ministers, meanwhile, have voiced the general consensus that they will be focused on accelerating the government's growth agenda in their respective areas. For Minister of National Security and Peace, Dr. Horace Chang, his focus will be on sustaining the reduction in crime and expanding intervention strategies and opportunities to vulnerable communities to achieve peace and build the lives of residents.
We have had significant gains, but there's still a lot of work to be done. One, to ensure that it is not only a trend, but it will be established as a norm, that we have violence at a reduced level, and that the police itself will have adequate resources to deal with the problem that we may face in the future. Clearly, the emphasis will shift, but we still have to maintain vigilance.
To enable a healthy and productive society, Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says the Know Your Numbers campaign and other initiatives will be expanded.
There are some things that are coming that are policy and legislation, things like the abolition of elimination of trans fats in our food systems, which is a big issue around cardiovascular disease. As I said, the school nutrition policy, which has to be implemented, the front of package labeling for consumer information.
Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, says his ministry will be accelerating the implementation of various policies and programs.
So we're going to do more for our farmers, more for our fishers, and ensure that mining continues to drive Jamaica forward.
And Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr., tells JIS News that he is honored to serve again and eager to get started on the work to achieve government's growth agenda.
We simply have to fall in line, work together, and continue our effort to ensure that as a collective we put the people first, and that we put the destiny of Jamaica at the forefront of all of our decisions.
This term in office for the Andrew Holness-led government will be marked by a process that seeks to facilitate seamless succession and transition planning. The Prime Minister made that assertion as he addressed the new ministers on Wednesday, saying this was to ensure significant renewal in leadership, thinking and approaches. Dr. Holness pointed out that key ministers such as Darrell Vaz, Dr. Horace Chang and Olivia Grange had already indicated their timelines to depart office.
Continuity gives us strength. Renewal gives us dynamism, and we will have both. As time passes, you will see the momentum of renewal accelerating, steadily reshaping not only the composition of the government, but also the way the government thinks, acts, and delivers for the Jamaican people.
According to the Prime Minister, the succession and transition planning will allow the administration to carry forward what works while creating space for what it can do differently.
The commitment of this government is that we will always remain relevant to the struggles, dreams, and aspirations and solutions of the Jamaican people. We will never be archaic or unable to change. But we will always give the stability, the confidence, the assurance, and the certainty of good results for the Jamaican people.
And finally, Beverly Bean of St. Andrew has been crowned the 2025 National Senior Spelling Bee champion. She outspelled contenders from across the island to claim the top prize at the finals held on Wednesday at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. For her win, Miss Bean received a cash prize of $50,000, a tablet computer, a smartphone with credit, gift baskets, and the champion trophy. Carrie Henry of St. Anne placed second, while Les Macoute of St. Catherine was third. The competition is organized by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security through the National Council for Senior Citizens and is open to Jamaicans 60 years and older.
We are celebrating lifelong learning. We are celebrating resilience and the indomitable strength and spirit of community. This competition continues to emphasize the pursuit of knowledge. It has no age limit, and that every stage of life offers the opportunities for self-improvement and excellence.
The National Senior Spelling Bee is among the activities marking Senior Citizens Month, celebrated annually in September. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Jamaica Magazine. Technology is more than just for recreational use. Let's see how one school is using it to help students learn smarter and reach their full potential.
The Ministry of Education is making bold efforts to modernize classrooms across Jamaica through its National ICT in Education policy. Now, with more than 400,000 digital learning accounts distributed and hundreds of schools connected to broadband and Wi-Fi, the digital classroom is no longer just a dream. It's here, and it's growing.
Yes, tech-based education is here to stay. And so there is funding arrangements to support technology use in schools.
And nowhere is this digital shift more visible than at Loidas Vale Primary School in St. Catherine. At Loidas Vale, that support has come in many forms: smart boards, 20 new computers, projectors, and a configuration support from the ministry, with strong backing from past students who have donated an additional 40 computers.
So we are using technology. It has helped. The apps would have helped the students significantly to, as I said, get real-time information, practice more, and it now transform the learning experience to that of fun. So they are having fun and learning at the same time. Math is no longer boring, using just a textbook, but it is providing them with real life experiences. Technology as well, the math corner, the math kits, right, the manipulatives, right, sent by the ministry would have helped.
On the literacy front, the school uses Jollyphonics and other digital tools.
We have seen students moving at least 1 to 2 reading level, right? And that is very, very encouraging. Now, as it relates to technology, the computer, working with them on the computer and the same gadget, they are now able to download the Jollyphonics and use the app there and go through. So this has enhanced the teaching and learning experience for our children, because they are now able to interface with the material at their leisure at home. At school, we are using as well the computers to help with the students' literacy, teaching literacy, right? And this has helped significantly.
In my classroom, we use laptops, cellular phones, and tablets. Back to when I never had technology, I had some students who were not getting the concepts. Using the technology, I'm able to get some of the students to understand more and get some students to pay more attention and they're understanding more, as before with it just being abstract. They're able to see the technology bringing the lesson to life.
The results speak for themselves. Students are not just more engaged, they are also performing better.
My grades not using technology were 80s and 70s, and my grades now are 90s and 100.
Without technology, my grades were mostly high 80s, now it's high 90s.
Lesson planning has also evolved. Teachers now use digital resources, games, and apps to keep lessons dynamic.
They are more engaged. When they're playing Kahoot, they're excited, and Kahoot is an online interactive game where they can play. So after finish teaching the lesson, I will give them a Kahoot for them to go on, and they will answer it, so they are more excited.
So it's no longer just talking in a vacuum, or it's no longer detached from their life. Learning has to be connected, and they have to be able to identify with whatever they are seeing in their life. That's why we use the technology. The videos that are used during the teaching and learning session, those are important to help them to see how or what examples are provided for them. So we want to provide them with that experience, and that is what we at Lowersville Primary School is seeking to do. Hence our motto, learning today, leading tomorrow.
Are you looking for investment opportunities? How about investing in agriculture?
We're introducing a major project that's coming for Jamaica. It's called the Southern Plain Agricultural Development Project. It involves over 2,000 acres of land that will be available to investors across a wide range of crops. We are seeking investors both locally and overseas. A good way to start is reaching out to AgroInvest. From there, we can help you to build a plan around the ideas that you have for getting involved in agriculture. And we have a market development team which will be rolling out shortly to provide linkages with persons on the agri-park, with buyers locally and in the export markets.
Are you into food preparation or selling food? Do you have a food handler's permit? It's a serious question for anyone in the food and beverage industry. Find out why it's essential and how to get one in our next feature.
Juicy, buy a juice from me now.
A cool bag juice sounds just about right, but do you have a permit? Whether you're selling juice on the corner, baking gizadas at home, or running a full-service restaurant, there's one thing every food operator in Jamaica must have: a food handler's permit. Issued under the Public Health Food Handling Regulations, this permit is mandatory for anyone involved in preparing, serving, transporting, or handling food across the island. And here's why.
It means that you would be in conformance with the Public Health Food Handling Regulations. And so it is important that persons make their application so that they can get the requisite training in an effort to ensure that the foods that are offered to the public are safe, wholesome, and free from any form of contamination.
So, how do you apply for a food handler's permit? It's easier than you might think.
It is quite simple. It's a simple process. You would need to complete the prescribed application form. You would also be required to submit 2 passport-size photographs. In addition, you are expected to pay the requisite application fee, which is $500. You will be given an appointment date and time to visit one of our venues for the training session, to be interviewed and to sit a test.
For applicants in the Southeast Regional Health Authority parishes, a TRN may also be needed for tracking your application.
The persons who apply for food handlers permits would normally be screened. A series of questions would be asked for the health interview, and this is to ascertain the health status of the applicants, because anyone who acquires a food handler's permit would be deemed to be fit and proper to handle food, prepare food, serve food for human consumption. And as such, these persons have to meet the requirements on the medical interview. Once you are successful in completing the process, then you'll be able to get your food handler's permit. On average, it would normally take 6 weeks or thereabout from application to acquiring the food handler's permit. In some cases, particularly in the other parishes outside of Southeast, it would take a much shorter period of time. However, it can take longer whenever we have challenges, but we try our endeavor best to ensure that employers who need to know that their employees have completed the process successfully are provided with a letter which is temporary.
My food handler's permit does help me, because when I do events like these, or even when I go to like Hope Gardens, first thing first, the public health inspector come around, "Hey chef, you have your food handlers?" I say, "Yes man, here it is," and I pop it out just like this and show them my food handlers is up to date, legit and ready to go.
The inspectors are required to monitor food handling establishments at least twice yearly. We would normally certify the businesses, and once the businesses are certified, then we would do an additional assessment or inspection to ensure that they are operating in accordance with the public health food handling regulations. But you have to bear in mind too that resources are limited, and as such we have to do risk ranking, where we focus and monitor more frequently high risk operations, medium risk operations. For low risk operations, they are not neglected, they are also monitored, but certainly not as frequently as we would monitor high risk and medium risk operations.
High-risk establishments are those directly involved in serving, preparing, or handling potentially hazardous foods such as milk, eggs, cheese, fish, and various meats like chicken, beef, pork, and goat. Low-risk establishments, on the other hand, are those that sell pre-packaged or sealed items such as peanuts, bottled water, and confectionaries.
If it is that persons would have committed violations, we would seriously have to consider the nature of the violation and the type of violations committed and whether or not the person has been rehabilitated. And as such, each case, each situation would have to be dealt with on its own merit.
So, how to get the application form to become certified?
The application form is online. It may be downloaded from SARA's website, Southeast Regional Health Authority's website. It may also be downloaded from the website of the Ministry of Health and Wellness and completed. However, applicants would still need to visit the local health department in order to apply, because you'll be given an appointment date and an appointment time, and you're expected to return on that day and at the required time to be interviewed.
Having a food handler's permit isn't just about compliance. It builds trust with your customers and ensures you're ready for any health inspection that might come your way. Don't take chances. Get certified, stay compliant, and help keep Jamaica's food safe.
Your devices are important, and so is charging them safely.
Never charge your phones or your laptop in bed, or leave them charging on your sofa or on any material that is flammable. That is a risk that is too great for you to take on.
Instead, charge your devices on a hard surface and always unplug them once fully charged.
The Jamaica Productivity Center, JPC, has introduced 3 new toolkits designed to boost efficiency in schools, businesses, and government services. These resources offer practical frameworks to measure performance, close gaps, and drive growth across all sectors. The call is for all Jamaicans to use the toolkits to work smart. Business leaders make productivity the heart of their culture. Use the toolkits, reward excellence, and treat AI and digital systems as essentials to sharpen your edge. Educators, let productivity guide how you teach. Embrace technology, mentor students, and instill discipline, effort, and results to build a generation ready for Jamaica's future economy. Public servants, let's lead by example and prove that government can be efficient, responsive, and results-driven. The toolkits are now available at the Ministry's website at mlss.gov.jm and on JPC's social media platforms. That wraps up today's program. I hope you're not just informed, but inspired. Do join us again tomorrow for another exciting and insightful edition of Jamaica Magazine. If you missed any part of today's show, don't worry. You can catch the full recap and explore more stories on our website at jis.gov.jm. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.